This AFC West Division Preview edition of the Sports Gambling Podcast is presented by WynnBet. Bet $100 at WynnBet and get a $100 free bet. Head over to sportsgamblingpodcast.com/WynnBet. That's sportsgamblingpodcast.com/WYNNBET to claim your free bet today. We're also brought to you by SGPN Fantasy. Dominate your draft with the free SGPN Draft Kit. Just go to sportsgamblingpodcast.com/draft kit. And the free roll football contest is back and better than ever. $5,000 up for grabs in our NFL contest and $1,500 in our brand new college football contest. Sign up exclusively in our Discord, sportsgamblingpodcast.com/discord. That's sportsgamblingpodcast.com/discord.
Hey, this is Bill Romanowski. You're listening to SGPN. Let it ride.
He's one of those guys who will get penetration.
Ooh, welcome everyone to the Sports Gambling Podcast. I'm Sean, second the money green with my partner in picks, Ryan, Real Money Kramer. What's happening, Kramer?
God, division of champions here. Just here, nothing but champions in the AFC West. Some say.
Well, according to your win totals, all the teams are going to hit the over.
Bolt up. Some say I have a infatuation with the under. I'm a hater. Though that these things have been said.
This is the yourself, division that proves you wrong.
Not an under.
The haters are
not an under to be seen. Although I have revisited something, but still not an under to be seen.
Everyone's going to win every game in the AFC West, according to Ryan, Real Money Kramer.
They do play the AFC South. They also play the NFC West. Who, breaking news, I'm a little lower on than the world. I don't know if the water is going to cure the hangover in LA, and I think Seattle might be near the bottom. And I don't know how I feel about Trey Lance out there in the Bay.
Oh, right. Just because they re-signed Jimmy G, it does not.
You know it's bad when I got.
It doesn't mean they're not completely sold on Jimmy Garoppolo or on Trey Lance. They're just restructuring his deal.
Makes sense.
Yeah, I mean,
they don't want to save money. They don't want to save money in the future. They'd rather like kick the can down the road. Like, hey, you know what, honey? We can't afford this like exuberant above ground pool from Costco, but throw it on layaway. That's what Jimmy G is, an above ground pool.
You're having an affair with the nanny. The wife leaves you.
Oh, I'm Arnold Schwarzenegger in this.
Yes.
Yeah, so, nice.
And then you're living with the nanny, and you're starting to realize, okay, maybe we just invite the wife back. She can live in the garage.
Oh no,
it'll be separate. It'll be fine. There won't be any locker room issues in the house. You're letting Jimmy G hang around.
Yeah, why?
I mean,
awkward.
This guy who won a bunch of playoff games.
Awkward.
I mean, if you're in the locker room, be like, hey, can we start the guy who got us to the Super Bowl, the NFC Championship? I mean, Jimmy G's not amazing by any means, but he doesn't that one overthrow in the Super Bowl. I mean, it's crazy.
I mean, I think I saw Jimmy G is number 5 in the league currently in win percentage.
Yeah, the guy wins games. That's all these players care about.
Worth noting.
We are cranking it out. Double session division previews. Of course, if you missed any of our individual team previews, now is a perfect time to go back. sportsgamblingpodcast.com/NFL previews. All 32 teams, walk through the entire schedule, give out our play on the win total. The division previews, we're recapping, giving out some team futures, our favorite player props.
Okay.
And then, we got college football picks week 1 coming up. And if you haven't gotten in on the free roll football contest, $5,000 up for grabs and a 2-night stay over at the Win, $15 up for grabs in the college football contest. The links to sign up, sportsgamblingpodcast.com/discord. Get in over there, get going. NFL is right around the corner.
Will the room at the Win come stock with a humidifier?
Well, save that for our tips to Vegas episode, right?
That's called the teaser.
Well, there's no teasing over a WynnBet because it delivers as the best online sportsbook and casino experience. I mean, you could have told a young Sean Green that one day you would be having the honor to promote the beautiful Wynn's sportsbook and casino app, and that you could walk around with a magical device that lets you bet on college football, NFL, to fire up the online casino where you get a 100% deposit bonus up to $1,000. I mean, my reaction would blow a young Sean Green's mind. Hey, support the content train, doing big things on SGPN. If you saw the announcement on social media, SGPN TV launching September 1st. We will be going live. Apple TV, Roku, Fire Stick. That's where you can download SGPN TV. Super Bowl, NFL Final Prediction Show, 5 o'clock Pacific, 8 p.m. East. All thanks to our good buddies over at sportsgamblingpodcast.com/WYNNBET. sportsgamblingpodcast.com/WinBet. Offer subject to change. Terms and conditions at winbet.com. Must be 21 or older and present in the state where playthrough WinBet is available. If you're someone you know has a gambling problem, call 1-800-522-4700. And we're also brought to you by Odds Trader. That's right. Odds Trader is your one-stop shop when it comes to promoting or finding the best sign-up codes, promos, everything you need to be a smarter bettor. Again, bet smarter, not harder. Odds Trader helps you do that. Again, handicapping info, play-by-play updates, live scores, bet tracking. It really is a great site to check out and just make it part of your pregame ritual. Go to oddstrader.com/Blue Wire. That's ODDS trader.com/Blue Wire. Odds Trader, the #1 site for all your game day bets.
So this is a tight division, Sean. The top is very close to the bottom. As you were saying before the show, the ceiling might be the floor might be the ceiling. Chiefs only 10.5. This is the shortest number we've seen on this team in some time. Some might say it's the lowest win total they've had in the Patrick Mahomes, Tyreek Hill era.
Yep. We
both went over. You were at 11-6. I was at 12-5. Going through the process with the Chiefs, we always seem to have a little shade, or at least I do, towards them. And so felt like I was being a little pessimistic and still got them to a 12-5 team. Yeah. Hard to imagine Andy Reid, Patrick Mahomes can't find their way back. And what really blew my mind is and this was for a different team. We'll get to this in the future, but looking at the amount of points scored last year, considering how the world had quote figured Andy Reid out, they were 4th in points. So I wonder if we're getting a little ahead of ourselves, as they say. What happened, Sean? You're a skier. You're going down. You hit that big jump, and you're a little too far out in front of your skis. You fall on your fucking face. That's what happens when you take the under on the Chiefs this year. You fall on your fucking face.
Don't get cute. I mean, again,
I watched Tyreek Hill in Vegas play no craps. I'm on Team Mahomes.
Now, Ryan, again, people act like I mean, what do you think is if you had to choose between these two situations, did Tyreek Hill help Patrick Mahomes, or did Patrick Mahomes help Tyreek Hill?
All I'm saying is, if Tua has a year to learn with Andy Reid, are we talking about the same situation?
If Tua has
I'm just making a joke.
Oh, okay.
Like Patrick Mahomes got a full year to learn.
Well, and also too, like, so I was listening to a show. And
Patrick Mahomes has like a generational arm. That's like
and just the ability to scramble around. They've really upgraded the offensive line. I don't even know if I gave them enough credit in the team preview for what they did to upgrade the offensive line. And shout out to Danny Solomon of the Sorry We Love Football podcast. He had a great nuggets on that backup tight end that's been having an awesome training camp. And then Karlaftis, like, they might actually have a guy who can rush the passer. I think I was high on him. All the NFL teams were wrong. I had the under on his draft position, like 22.5. So I mean, the fact that he's going to come in and start producing, we mentioned how it was like, is there anyone that's going to step up to be more than just Chris Jones? You know, and I think Patrick Mahomes, I think there's a couple of guys that have chips on their shoulders this year. And I think Patrick Mahomes is one of them. I think for the first time in his career, Patrick Mahomes has doubters. Patrick Mahomes have people saying, hey, you know, their offense isn't going to be the same without Tyreek Hill. I mean, who is really in a big way said negative stuff about the Chiefs. You know what I mean? And now it's finally happening. Oh, they can't figure out the too high safety look. They're not going to be able to open up the field without Tyreek Hill. Now you give Patrick Mahomes and Andy Reid an entire offseason to rework the offense. You bring in Juju, who again, the more I think about it, the more I like him for fantasy. And I think he's really going to benefit.
Don't worry, Sean scooped him up in the experts draft.
That was a great pick, Ryan. I wasn't as high on him early on, so kudos to you. Hats off to Kramer.
Give me all the kudos.
Research Flat Earth saying Juju is going to have a monster season. Chad Graham pointing out Patrick Mahomes has not won a Super Bowl since he proposed to Brittany, his wife. The curse is real. Yeah, that stuff aside, I think he has a chip on his shoulder. So my two bets are Patrick Mahomes related. One, Patrick Mahomes MVP. I gave you out Justin Fields as a fun long shot at 75-1, but Patrick Mahomes at plus 950, man, the case is pretty easy. And I think as far as Rodgers won it back to back. Now imagine if Mahomes gets to like 40 passing touchdowns, which he very easily could without Tyreek Hill. Maybe Travis Kelce has a monster year. Maybe Juju. Like I said, I think he has a really good year.
Yeah, we both like this when we did the Chiefs preview. It's rare that you want to take someone all the way up the board, but he's not the favorite. I think he's the fourth favorite, maybe third or fourth. I think purely narrative based. Like you have a quarterback in an Andy Reid system who has a chip. You mentioned all these chips. You forgot about the offensive coordinator who can't seem to get a head coaching job.
Oh yeah.
So I mean, there's certainly a lot of chips to go around. I mean, CEH is being left for dead. Dude lost a bunch of weight because of some crazy spleen thing last year. There's a lot of guys on this team. I mean, everyone's talking shit on all the receivers. Basically, these guys aren't Tyreek Hill. They're not going to be able to do this. MVS, well, he just spent 3 years getting yelled at by Aaron Rodgers. Now he gets to hang out with Patrick Mahomes, do some TikTok videos with Juju. I think there's going to be some folks taking a big step forward and having career years. And oh, by the way, we did all of this and we haven't even mentioned fucking Travis Kelce.
Yeah.
Look, you can get hot take like we do when we're talking about running backs like Christian McCaffrey and say they're going to get hurt. But Travis Kelce he just gets healthy and he plays and he's going to make this team different. And you know, the hottest of the takes is he's the reason this offense has ticked all these years, not Tyreek Hill, because last year when Tyreek Hill was effectively taken away, or at least the thing Tyreek Hill does best, they still ended up scoring points with the best teams in the league. And so, yeah, I mean, I guess the argument, and again, I'm also high on let me Kelce. Finish my Kelce point because Kelce is over under.
Yeah.
Like we threw out during the preview is 1,050.5. Sean.
Yep.
If you had to guess, how many seasons has Travis Kelce gone under this number in his career?
I'm looking at his.
Oh, that's unfortunate.
I'll guess
because what you would see is in the beginning of his career, he went under it 3 or 4 years, but since then, 4 straight years, and it hasn't been close. And oh, by the way, who's been on the team those past 4 years? Tyreek fucking Hill. Tyreek Hill's not there. Yeah. Tyreek Hill's 25% target share is not there.
I mean, Tyreek Hill.
This number is an error.
And to that point, Ryan, Tyreek Hill, especially last year. You don't. At least I didn't realize until I started pulling the numbers. So here are Tyreek Hill's receptions starting from 2017: 75, 87, 58. He missed a few games there. 87, and then last year 111. Wow. He on 159 targets. So we
short
have
stuff. That was kind of the adjustment.
Yeah.
That's
so we have 159 vacated targets, 1,239 vacated receiving yards.
What percentage of that goes to Kelce?
Even if it's
20,
again, I think a decent chunk. Now I think Juju is going to suck up some of those, and why he's interesting fantasy wise. But again, even if Kelce, I think the argument against Kelce is kind of getting older. He has shown some declining efficiency, yards per route run, that kind of stuff. But he still is playing at a very high level. I think he still has like 1 or 2 good years of being really elite.
I think you could argue that he had an amazing 2020 season, and 2021 is more of a reflection of just standard regression more than it is him declining. Because if you blend that over this 4-year stretch, for example, he's sitting right there. Like he's performing right around the middle. So
and I guess the other argument, and in the YouTube chat, Breathing Fantasy Football has it. Fortson is who's that second tight end. I think they're going to run some 2 tight end sets, maybe, or maybe they spell him. I don't think they will. I think Fortson will see the field in 2 tight end sets, and I think they'll run some 12 personnel stuff. I think
you just have
just split Kelsey out wide. I don't think they're going to take the Kelsey off the field much. I just don't.
Kelsey. So he
you
may
don't need to
play less snaps, but teams can't take him away. Teams cannot take him. Bradbury did actually a really good job when the Giants played him at taking him most kind of away, and you still can't take him away. So to say that Kelsey is going to produce less output this year, I think is because when shit hits the fan, where's the ball going? Where is the ball going? Where is he looking? Right, everywhere. He's looking.
Kelsey's at his guy.
So
but I think Fortson.
You're getting cute if you want to fade Kelsey this year. I think
Fortson could be a fun first touchdown bet for sure, and I would probably even be looking to that week 1.
Oh, of course, it fits the model. So as far as futures,
what do you got, Kramer?
Playoffs. We discussed how much of a lock the Packers was to win the division at -200 or better.
This is crazy. I'm going to add it to my list, but it's because
it's -200, it's still bettable to me.
Yeah,
the Chiefs are making the playoffs.
20 units on it.
I'm not quite sure in what version of the simulation they don't. I do believe this division's gonna lose some divisional games to each other, but I think the rest of their schedule is fairly easy. And I'd be shocked if Patrick Mahomes and Andy Reid aren't in the. It would take.
I'm not one.
It would take an injury.
Ryan, you listen to the show. We don't give out a lot of like -200, -190 stuff, but Packers win the division and Chiefs to make the playoffs. I just how does this not come home? I mean, it would take an injury to Patrick Mahomes, and even that, you give Andy Reid. I think they have enough talent where dependent. I mean, obviously if he's out for the entire season, but I think if anyone could pull off, getting by without Patrick Mahomes for like 6 games, it might be Andy Reid in this offense. So and the defense should be better. I just don't get why this isn't like -350 minus.
And I just added something to the sheet because you can't actually. I couldn't find it last night when I was throwing these in, but Chiefs and Packers both make the playoffs -115. There you go. That's a lock. I know parlaying favorites feels silly, but let's just put those 2 -200s together, right?
Yeah.
They're both.
I mean, again, injuries to the quarterback, but even as long as it's not season ending, I think the Chiefs could get into the playoffs with a small injury to Travis Kelsey. So I'm with you, Ryan. Make playoffs -200. I'm 100%.
And then the last one I have is I gave this out. We talked through the schedule and why I like this, but first loss to Buffalo.
Okay.
Is 30-1. We know why we like Buffalo to win that game. A little bit of revenge maybe on their mind, Sean.
Yep.
But if you pull back the whole schedule, they open with Arizona on the road. They then host the Chargers, road against the Colts, road against the Bucks, Raiders at home. Not the easiest path, but I think more than ever, we're going to see people a little down on the Chiefs. I mean, we're seeing a situation where we can lay 3 points to take on Kyler. And there are versions of my brain that are like, holy crap. There's 0% chance. As much as I like Kyler and the Cardinals story this year, I'm not catching less than 3.5 points in this spot. So again, feels like more of a long shot when you walk it through, but I like the Chiefs to be a buzzsaw to start the season. If you told me that, yeah, so I'm going 30-1 here.
30-1.
I think they start 5-0. And if you want to bet them to start 5-0, I think most places are offering less than 10-1 on that. Whereas if you bet on them to start 5-0 and then lose that game to the Bills, you can get 30-1. So if you like them to start hot and you like them to start 5-0, don't play it that way, or play it both ways. I mean, shit.
No, you just play it,
and then you can hedge.
You
back
play it
on
first
the game.
loss, and then yeah. I mean, that's the way to do it.
Yeah. So, all right.
30-1.
You got any other Chiefs stuff?
Oh yeah, I got a juicy long shot. Now again, this is 80-1, so strap in.
No,
but Ryan, Patrick Mahomes, most passing yards. We can get to that, right? We can get to that.
Yeah.
And what if Travis Kelce? What if he gets like 50% of those Tyreek Hill stuff? There's a scenario where it's very rare, but I think.
All right, Mahomes most passing yards, and Kelce
most receiving yards, parlayed together 80-1. Now we're gambling. This is a sports gambling podcast, Ryan.
That is true. Yeah, no, I mean that's fun. Look, if he gets a 50% target share, it's possible. It's correlated. I like the correlation. You know, I'm a sucker for correlation.
Well, it is definitely correlated. So that's what's interesting about it. Usually these long shot stuff, they won't let you correlate it like that. But again, you know, like Mark Andrews, I think was 5th in receiving yards last year at 1,300.
Yeah, no, I mean, it's doable.
Maybe a couple of injuries. Kelce gets to. I mean, I'll pull it up again.
Kelce's gonna have a big game week 1.
So Kelce in 2020 got 1,416 yards in 15 games. Right. Let's say there's a version where he plays all 17. Maybe they're fighting for that 1 seed there, week 17. Could he get to 1,600 or 1,700 yards? I think it's in a reasonable range of outcomes.
Sean, you're talking to someone who has him number 1 overall, tight end premium.
Yeah. So you're with you. Yeah. All right.
I'm with you.
All right.
Denver Broncos.
80-1, man. That's crazy. So, and I didn't even get to my other. No. That was my team future because it involves 2 players.
Got it.
I also like to make playoffs, but we already Patrick Mahomes MVP was the other one, and we already got to that. So let's talk Broncos.
Broncos. The win total's 10. Danger Russ showed up. Got mixed reports throughout camp on the status of the offense, how things are going to look. We were both over.
Yep.
I think this was the only half of the division, or half of the teams in this division we had fans on with us, which could have swayed the over. We did not with the Broncos. We do both love Russ a lot. 11-6. And again, I remember being on the pessimistic side. I do keep having this thought, like if there's a team, I know I went over on all these teams, but if there's a team I could see widely missing expectations.
Well, because it's the most moving parts from previous seasons.
It's a new coach.
Yeah.
It's Russ in a new situation.
Yep.
Again, like it does seem like we're just selling Pete Carroll up the river for being like this boomer shitty coach when he did win a Super Bowl and a national championship, which not many coaches have ever done.
Yeah.
And so I wonder if that Russ coming into this situation, Russ is a noted weird guy. We don't know what kind of weird guy shit he's introduced to this locker room.
I mean, to me, the handicap is fairly simple. I mean, 2020, 2019, 2018, we saw a pretty solid Russell Wilson, and that thumb injury last year really derailed his season. Other than that, like I think they're still.
Yeah. I'm good with the Russ will be healthy. What I'm saying is it's the first time in a while Russ has had to learn a new offense. It's the first time this coordinator is a head coach. It's John Elway still. It's a franchise that has been a defensive first team for a long time now. And what happens if we've said this before about other teams, we expect the Vikings defense to take that step back because of coaching. And we know the offense is going to take a step forward because of coaching. The Broncos offense was fucking horrible. I know you're replacing the quarterback, but you are still expecting this massive leap because we know the defense is going to take a step back and you're in a tough division.
Yeah. No, I mean, again,
I've gone more sour on them across the board since like we previewed the team, I think. And I'm still leaning over because it's Russ, and I'm not betting on Russ to not win double-digit games. But with this win total at 10, I hate to say it, but it feels like we're going to end on a push here.
Oh, well, Ryan, I'm still on the over. I think again, the
I'm on the over for the record. I'm not leaning. I'm on the over.
They have too many talented people, and I'll transition to my. I can't really find many ways to bet this, but I think KJ Hamler could be a really fun DFS play. I mean, you saw it even with like Russ Wilson loves those moonshots. And if you can give him a little bit of time, I think he's going to take some deep shots to KJ Hamler. There's a world where he hits a couple of these, 40+ yard touchdown catches, and he ends up having the most fantasy points on the team as a receiver. So I'm really kind of buying into KJ Hamler.
That's really
right
hot take. You quietly just slid that. He's going to outperform
Scorching.
Cortland Sutton and Jerry Jeudy.
I think there's yeah. I mean,
it's in the range of outcomes in your simulations.
If I was betting this, I would want to get like 15-1 on it, but there's no even like player props. There's no KJ Hamler.
You were looking for KJ Hamler.
Like
props
literally
earlier.
nothing on KJ Hamler. I'm just saying fantasy wise, DFS wise, don't overlook KJ Hamler early because the ceiling case for him is really, really interesting. For my player prop,
I love that.
Russell Wilson over 31.5 passing touchdowns. He's just gonna get this. And I think in the same way that we saw that first year with or that first year, maybe it was the first year Aaron Rodgers won the back-to-back MVPs. We saw a lot of like him going out of his way to rack up some passing touchdowns. I mean, Russ is Mr. Unlimited, Mr. cares about his image, cares about being like a brand. And I think, he knows that passing touchdowns look great in the stat line. I think he's going to go out of his way to throw near the goal line, and that's going to boost him up.
Even though his butt buddy, Melvin Gordon's going to be around to get some touchdowns.
Which one of the is it Jeudy or Cortland Sutton is the religious one?
Cortland Sutton.
Okay. So I think Cortland Sutton, maybe even some of the tight end stuff, although Alberto, I think, has gotten too much hype for what he may actually bring. And I don't know, I'm talking goal line stuff, but you look at 2020 at 40 passing touchdowns, 2019, 31, 35, 34, like the modern Russ has thrown a bunch of passing touchdowns.
And real quick to your point on where is Russ going to go with the ball, my player prop I'll go Alberto under 52.5 catches.
Okay.
I have a note here.
There's just so many.
Russ just doesn't produce tight ends. I mean, all the tight ends on the Seattle roster last year, I get it. He was hurt for a couple of games, but all the tight ends produced 48 catches total, all of them. So, and we know there's other guys in Denver that are interesting, right? The rookie Dulcich. And just, to your point, I think KJ Hamler is a more interesting third receiving option than Alberto.
There's just so many mouths to feed.
But think about this. So 52.5 for Alberto. Cortland Sutton is only 62.5.
Yeah, that's crazy.
And then somehow Jerry Jeudy is off the chart at 70.
Yeah.
72.5. I'm sorry. So to me, you nailed the Bible narrative stuff with Sutton. It does seem like he has, like, the reports from camp, Sutton is the guy.
Yeah.
Sutton is the guy he's looking
If
to.
you had to choose between Sutton or Jeudy, I think it's actually Sutton.
Now, it's weird too, because I'd almost prefer Jeudy to have maybe some of the deeper targets, and maybe he's more of a yardage guy. Anyway, so from a player prop perspective, I would fade Jeudy at 72.5 as well. But I Alberto, I think, is a stronger play at 52.5 just because of Russ doesn't use the tight end. And guess what? What is Green Bay? Green Bay doesn't use a fucking tight end either.
No.
And that's where the offense is coming from. So the chances of Alberto being this shocking talent that catches a shitload of balls, maybe touchdowns.
Yeah, and he's interesting.
Maybe touchdowns.
Maybe like some first touchdown stuff. But I don't think, to your point, I don't think he's going to be a workhorse reception wise. He's been in the league 2 years, 44 career receptions.
Yeah.
I mean, I just don't see it. New quarterback, new offense for him to skyrocket when you and Javonte Williams out of the backfield. Like I think the running backs are going to be involved in the passing game. I think you got Dulcich nipping at your heels, and then I think you have three viable pass catching, viable receiving options in the receiving core. I just don't see.
Yeah, exactly. What option is he going to be?
And you look at Aaron Rodgers. It was never like a massive attempts guy, right? So to get to these 52 receptions, you probably need 80 targets. How does he get to 80 targets in this offense?
I think a tight end can be slightly more efficient because they might be catching a little bit more around. But yeah,
so
still
project 80% catch rate. You need a decent amount of targets to get to that.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're on the same page. For my team future, you look at the Broncos schedule, you see like kind of just how they come in. I could see this team starting pretty hot. Of course, we like taking Broncos early on in the process when they're at home because of the conditioning, the elevation. So I'm going Broncos 5-0 to start 5-0 at plus 600. I mean, I'm walking through the schedule at Seattle. I mean, I would bet my life Russell Wilson balls out for that game. At home against the Texans. Well, we like the Texans, Ryan, but I do think week 2 at home.
How dare you?
That's a tough spot for any team.
How dare you?
Week 3 against the 49ers in prime time. Danger Russ versus the young, scrappy Trey Lance. Give me Danger Russ all day. At Las Vegas, that's tough. And then Colts at home. Again, another primetime game. I think they're just going to be up for all these games. Now, towards the end of the season, their last 5-6 games are really tough. At Ravens, Chiefs at home, Cardinals at home, at Rams, at Chiefs, Chargers at home. So I think, to your point, Ryan, that's why I'm still on the over. But I think this team could sputter a little bit towards the end based on the schedule. But I like them to start hot at 5-0 plus 600.
It's hot. I mean, Russ cooks with gas, I guess.
I mean, they started out 5-0 with Seattle a couple years ago.
Nah, I mean, I don't hate it. I don't know why I'm having these feelings of trepidation when it comes to Russ. I feel like I'm gonna regret this at some point. I actually couldn't. My only real way to play this team is over 10. I almost threw out. They will win 10 games.
You don't have them making the playoffs. You could do that.
I don't like the price on it. I think like it's more attractive to me to bet the case.
Ryan's getting cold feet for our Danger Russ.
So we say sacks are a team.
Yep.
A team accomplishment. So I do think that Bradley Chubb stepping into the light a little bit here. Lots of guys on the list here in the 150 to 1 range. That legitimately don't have a shot because of the position they play. Bradley Chubb on a team that's going to score some points. So they'll be playing some defense. They play against a lot of teams that pass the ball, and they play against some bad offensive lines. I'm going to take a stab here. Bradley Chubb to end up with the most sacks. John, 100 to 1. 100 to 1.
Wow, that's crazy. And again, he has the talent.
He's got
situation.
The pedigree. Well, we'll see if he has the situation.
What do you mean?
I'm going to need Russ to have a good offense. That's the thing I'm worried about.
I did not expect this. You
didn't
just
see this
about
coming?
face on Russell Wilson, Ryan. I'm really worried.
What the fuck?
I don't want to get hurt again. You know.
Wow. He only hurt us 1 year. Every other year we made money taking them because they would just set it at 9. The fucking guy would win 10 games and we would cash the ticket. Like, just this Johnny come lately. What have you done for me lately, Russell Wilson?
Hold on.
Russell Wilson has won us a shit ton of money, Ryan. Do I have to track down his ATS record as a starter? Come on, this Russ blasphemy is crazy.
I am gonna bet on them. Hold on. I am gonna bet on them to win games. All right. Well, all right. Fuck it. Here's the fun way you play. Delete that last one. Who am I kidding?
Well, Bradley Chubb.
No, horrible.
I would compare
pick.
it to defensive player of the year.
All right. Here's the way you play this one. Russell Wilson.
Yep.
He's in a division of superstars.
Yep.
Little old Russ, not even favored ahead of Derek Carr to have the most passing yards in the division.
Okay, now we're talking.
Russ to have the most passing yards in the AFC West only.
Yes.
9 to 1.
Wow.
9. No, there's only 4 quarterbacks.
I mean, that to me was like that. I mean, it's higher odds, but that bet we found about the Steelers to let up the fewest amount of points.
Sorry, Russ.
9 to 1 passing yards. He can
Russ to be the MVP is 14 to 1. I mean,
yeah, I would like. I mean, again, if he's getting MVP, 14 to 1, but there's certainly a world where he gets the most passing yards and doesn't get MVP. So I like that a lot at 9 to 1. Great find, Kramer.
I don't love. I mean, I'm worried about Russ. I'm worried the altitude. He's been at sea level for so long.
Why are you worried about Russ of all the people to get worried about?
I don't know. I've been drafting less Broncos in fantasy. I don't know why.
Ryan, I worry for both of us. This is the part of the process.
This is why
we've been like a caged animal. We've just been previewing and previewing, and then the contrarian take to our own contrarian take becomes the new take, which is bad. We just need to step back, relax.
It is weird when you don't
let Russ cook.
When you don't listen to a lot of other voices like me. You end up starting to think that your opinion is too public, and then you have to get contrarian on your own opinion. It does get tricky.
Woo! It's smoking my weed.
All right, we got 2 teams left before we get to that. Hey guys, have you entered our free NFL Survivor contest? Winner takes all. We're partnering up with Run Your Pool. Again, if you're running any sort of pool, you got to do it over at Run Your Pool. Very easy to reserve your spot. All you got to do is go to play.runyourpool.com/SGPN. That's play.runyourpool.com/SGPN. Winner gets $500 cash and a $250 gift certificate to the SGPN store, plus bragging rights that you won the SGPN Survivor. That's pretty awesome. And again, once you sign up for our free NFL Survivor contest, you know, start running your own pools. Pick 'em, Survivor, Fantasy. Whatever you got, Run Your Pool has you covered. Again, you know, we were using Run Your Pool even before they came on as a sponsor. So awesome to be able to talk about them on the show here. And again, $500 cash, $250 gift certificate, and just a great place to run your pool. Step 1, sign up for our Survivor. Play.runyourpool.com/SGPN. We're also brought to you by Sleeper. That's right. Sleeper is the fastest fantasy going platform. And again, we already have a league on there.
Oh, bless you. We do have our league on there, Sean.
Apologies, Sleeper.
It's not a reflection of Sean's view of the platform.
No, I'm allergic.
It was not metaphorical.
I'm allergic to bad fantasy platforms, and I was going to mention that Sleeper is far and away the best fantasy platform. And even thinking about these other guys, got an allergic reaction. Over unders are now going to be integrated into fantasy. That's right. Over under on player props. You can win 2x all the way up to 20x. Get started today with a 100% deposit bonus. All you got to do is go to sleeper.com/SGP on your phone. Sleeper.com/SGP. You will automatically be entered into our group chat there. You can copy our picks. I've been grinding out some MLB with our buddy Terrell. A lot of fun there. They have college football player props.
Yes, sir.
We're going to be giving out some of those in our college football picks episode. So stay tuned for that. And again, if you already have Sleeper, just hit the over under tab, use promo code SGP to get that deposit bonus. Terms and conditions apply. See Sleeper's terms of use for details. Do it, Kramer.
All right. Chargers somehow third. 10 is the win total. Again, maybe I should be more scared of the Chargers than the Broncos in this case. I had them going 11-6 and going over. You had them going 10-7. And when put to the test, you said, "Give me the under." Another flat, cowardly win total, which is disappointing. It's hard not to be excited about the offense. Justin Herbert looks very clearly to be, is it unfair to say the best young talent in the NFL? I certainly would start a team with him right now.
Yeah,
I think
the acne is troubling.
He's
just tough to be a franchise quarterback when you look like you're working at a pizza shop. I think 16.
I think teammates maybe
he really got he also got a really bad haircut, which hurt him.
But when you have an arm like that, I think it doesn't matter. What the rest of you looks like.
Watching that Raiders game where they were just throwing every down, going for it on every down, and those cannon throws. And their coach, I'm a little nervous on. I'm actually on the under here, Ryan.
I know. That's why I said it's weird.
Now it was a flat 10, but I'm saying I'm taking the plus odds at plus 115 on the under. This is just I've been watching football for a really long time, and I'm not going to buy into the Chargers.
Fuck,
maybe
not me.
Maybe I'll be 1 year late on the Chargers. I'm willing to take that risk. This team just always figures out ways to get injured, to lose close games, to have a coach who makes some insane coaching decisions.
So gun to or no guns, I guess. But are you picking the Denver or Chargers? Better chance to get in the playoffs?
Denver.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
I mean, Russ is my dog, and I like Justin Herbert.
Justin Herbert's a dog.
Yeah.
Russ ain't never seen nothing like Justin Herbert over there in
but
fucking
just
NFC West.
You know, Derwin James will like break his leg, and it'll just.
Wow.
The team figures out ways to lose games. Ryan, we've been watching football with Justin Decker for how long? And you're saying this season's gonna be the season.
You know what it is?
San Diego Superchargers.
Russ.
I mean, I love Decker, but they rip his poor heart out every single week.
I mean, last year was an all timer. I mean, Russ is that extremely attractive girl. You know exactly what you're getting, but maybe the ceiling's not there because maybe it's a more conservative viewpoints.
Yeah.
But Herbert, this team, sexy. you don't know what's under the hood.
Well,
you just
Ryan,
want to pop it.
You and the fantasy nerds are all over your.
Give me the Chargers.
I like their offense. I mean, again, football reasons. It's tough to pick holes again to build a case against this Chargers team, but they are the Chargers, right? They are the Chargers. They figure out how to charge. I think 10-7 would be a very good season for them. Again, I'm saying the under because you're getting the plus odds, but Chargers win 10 games exactly. You can get that at 6-1. I like that bet. This is the perfect Chargers number. For
I
them.
will say either the Broncos or the Chargers is going to win 10 games and cash that ticket. I think if they're both 6-1, that's fun.
Yeah.
I mean, look, I don't mind your bet. It does seem like of all the teams, the Chargers would come in on a flat win total as a push. But you said the offense is fun. You said you like the offense. Herbert, very attractive guy, good looking on and off the field. Most points in the regular season. They weren't far off this last year. Cowboys kind of ran away with it, which is disappointing. But most points in the regular season is plus 850. Give me all of that, because I'm not confident they're going to have a good defense more than they're going to have a defense that generates turnovers. And so I absolutely think this team. The offense is going to be better this year, Sean. That I believe in. The offensive line, the improve. I'm bought in to the offense being even better.
Well, and again, I think
this is the best offense in the league.
I think the team can be better. The offense can be better, and they still figure out ways. Kicking game. I mean, they still figure out ways to lose.
This is our year. I'm wearing a fucking t-shirt. Bolt up. Let's go, man.
Again, and I'm not trying to hedge my bets at all.
I love you, man. But man, we got to do this, man. We have to do this now, man.
They feel like a team that should be 12-5, but end up 10-7. And I do think they will be better. And what were they last year? 8-9.
The irony, even Dan Campbell knew to fire Anthony Lynn on schedule. So Chargers couldn't even get that right. What else we got?
Yeah.
I think we agree on a fun prop bet.
You threw this into the grid first, and I immediately co-signed it. But Mike Williams, most receiving touchdowns at 25-1. I mean, why not him? Right? Because he's that big body target that you can use on the goal line. He also has big playability. We've seen it in small stretches, like crazy efficiency. I mean, what did he start? Was it the beginning of the season where he started out with the insane run?
It's all about health.
Yeah.
It's all about health for him. I mean,
and that's why it's 25-1. But again, and Keenan Allen's getting older, even though I still like Keenan Allen.
The argument is,
but he had 9 last year and only didn't even, fully maximize his potential. Him getting up to like 16 isn't crazy.
Well, I mean, the comp is Mike Evans. Mike Evans is in a high powered offense. Mike Evans is an absolute just physical stud. And Mike Evans is the primary target in the red zone. You can say all of the same things about Mike Williams. Now, Mike Williams 25-1, Mike Evans 7-1. So from that perspective, like, why are their odds that far apart? I don't quite get it. I think, sure there's Keenan Allen, but who's the tight end? I sure there's Eckler. You don't think Justin Herbert's thrown for about 45 to 50 touchdowns?
I think
there are touchdowns to go around. So could Mike? If you gave me the task of saying how many guys can score 20 touchdowns in the National Football League this year, I think Mike Williams is on a relatively short list of receivers that can do that.
That's interesting. Who else would you put on that list? I think
Mike Evans.
You do have to put Mike Evans, Cooper Kupp, who I don't think has that insane year again. But who else is in there?
I think Devontae Adams, there's a lot of mouths to feed, but he could become a high usage guy in the red zone. Mark Andrews, I think Andrews and Kelsey have to be put there because it's unclear where the other targets are going.
They're both similar
but
in that
volume though for Baltimore makes it highly unlikely. So that's probably the list.
Yeah, because Kelsey and Andrews,
AJ Brown. That was for you, Sean.
Dog.
AJ Brown's gonna have himself a year, right? That's all I'm saying.
I'll say that the hot take guy that can get there is Michael Pittman because I don't know who else is catching the ball in Indy. And in the I don't think it's going to happen. I'm saying from a pure opportunity. There's just not many guys that will get that much target share around the red zone.
That would imply Matt Ryan throwing for 20 passing touchdowns. I'm on the under. Fuck Matt Ryan.
That's fair.
All right. Are we good? Anything else on the Chargers?
No.
Let's get over to the Oakland Raiders.
We got to get our shit going mentally.
Really sucks. They should just forget the Gruden emails and bring him back. I mean, come on. He's such a good character to have in the league.
And shout out to Bill Belichick.
Maybe we can hire him, Rod.
Shout out to Bill Belichick for getting excited. So excited about Berman showing up to the press conference. I would just love to be a fly on the wall in that bar where Berman and Belichick hung out to the wee hours of the night and just talked about stuff. All right, Raiders, the win total coming in a bit lower than the rest of the division at 8.5. Going through the schedule, I was obviously high on them. Big fan of the culture that Derek Carr's laid out there in Las Vegas. He's worth more than the quarterback stats he puts down on the paper. Sean, 10-7 for me, 7-10 for you. Obviously, we are going different directions. I just love the contrarian to me loves taking the team at the bottom when there are two teams, as we've kind of highlighted, above them that there's cases to them falling down.
Yeah. I mean, that's kind of how I see the Steelers division, but for me, I'm just not, I don't know. Like for me, last year was this like miracle year to get to the playoffs.
That's a great comp. And imagine if the Steelers had this elite offense. It sounds weird to say that out loud.
Yeah, I don't know. I just think at the end of the day, Raiders are going to be odd man out in this division. I think it's just that. Yeah, it's a bet against the quarterback. It's a bet against Josh McDaniels being able to get the offense right.
It's a second chance, bro.
I think their defense is going to be good, and I'll kick it off with my player prop. I do think Maxx Crosby, defensive player of the year, 40-1. Is a fun bet because you look at all those like QB pressures, QB knockdowns. He's up there with like TJ Watt neck and neck. He's just never gotten the counting stat of the sacks. So if things break right for him, it's also like a good story. The guy had a bunch of drug and alcohol issues, got sober.
Weirdly,
and they're playing, and he's playing in the division where he can get a lot of high profile sacks against Wilson, Herbert, Mahomes, and rack up some like fun game film. So, and Chandler Jones is now playing opposite side of him. So I think he's going to be matched up maybe against the weaker tackle. And I think that's going to create even more opportunity. So Maxx Crosby 40-1 is a really fun.
Chandler Jones is 12-1 to have the most sacks. So it's
like, and use sacks. It'll be like, it could go either way. The quarterback steps up. Who's right there?
That's my point.
It's not as locked in. Obviously, you're going up against Aaron Donald, TJ Watt. Those are big favorites. But in the long shot, mid shot range here, 40-1, it's pretty fun.
I fell deep into a wormhole of the most tackles futures market. Completely unrelated to the division, but I'm going to be teasing in the NFL final prediction show. I have a 250-1 future that you're going to be like, what the fuck? Why didn't you bring this up when we were talking about that team?
What do you got for us on the Raiders, Ren?
What the fuck? I like them to make the playoffs at plus 150. I like them to win the division.
I'll say this though. Well,
at plus 650. Right. I like
but
value hounding here. I also
real quick game theory is that, are you sure it's plus 150? So when we originally did it, it was plus 200.
Yeah, it's
for them to make the playoffs. I would just say this: at a win total of 8.5, plus 150 to make the playoffs in the AFC, is that a good price?
Furthermore, 18-1 that all four teams make the playoffs.
That's fun.
I went back and did some back testing.
Has that ever happened?
It wouldn't have, even with the 7 team. It's tough.
Yeah.
I think we're relying on them winning a lot of games versus the NFC West. Again, I'm lower than on them the most, and a lot of games against the AFC South, which is very believable. But my favorite play on the Raiders, we're going to parlay the Raiders and the Giants both make the playoffs plus 850. Let's fucking go. I think the Raiders. I think the Raiders are in the playoffs. I would probably, if I see some people throwing the superfectas out. That is fun. I would probably play around with some superfectas that had the Raiders finishing in second. See what happens there. I absolutely think that this team is being led by a grown ass man who brought his college buddy, who happens to be one of the best, if not the best wide receiver.
The guy is the you're talking about the quarterback with mascara.
Yeah, Derek Carr. Me and David both think he's great.
I know. I appreciate that, but I just something about Derek.
You getting
Carr,
lost in his eyes. See, that's a positive.
To me, the dog was Rich Bisaccia, a leader of men who now went to Green Bay, and their Achilles heel was the special teams game, and no one's talking about it. Or you make fun of me every time I talk about special teams.
What did we learn?
How do you win and lose fucking games?
So
Block field goals.
Our big take. Well, I went to Virginia Tech. I understand Beamer ball.
Beamer ball.
I think our biggest takeaway from this division is we're playing Chiefs Packers to make the playoffs at -115. Yeah, no, I think this is a rare case of a collection of players on both sides of the ball that are going to turn out to be greater than the sum of the parts. And for that reason, I like them. Everything you said about the Chargers blowing games, not getting it done. I think the Raiders will get it done. And I think Josh McDaniels in his second stint,
So you're high on everyone.
I'm mostly high on everyone in this division.
Yeah. Okay.
I'll be wrong on one team.
Oh, that's certainly
Overs will go
3-1
here. My prop, I'll give you an under. How about that?
Okay.
Darren Waller goes under 6 receiving touchdowns.
Now what's going on with Darren Waller? Because it seems like an injury thing, but also a contract thing, right? Where he hasn't practiced with the team barely at all this training camp, right?
It's not even part of my handicap. I do think he's going to be healthy week 1.
Yeah.
I do think he's going to be a heavy part of the game plan. But when you look at the way this team is going to use their targets around the red zone, I don't think Waller is going to be a big part of that. I think you have Adams and Renfro, who are both top 10 red zone guys operating wide or in the slot. I think Waller could be a decoy. And oh, by the way, go back and look at his career. Even in one time he went over this number. Yeah. Other than that, he hasn't come close. I got to get 7 to lose. I'm in.
I know. I mean, we had Darren Waller in a high stakes ETH league. The guy really laid an egg last year. For my team player prop for the Raiders, give me exact division finish: KC, Denver, Chargers, Raiders.
Boring.
What's plus 750?
Boring.
I mean, I think that has a better chance than Raiders make playoffs. I'll be honest. And we're getting it at plus 750. Yeah, it's chalky. I think this is one of the. I've saved my long shots, my shake it up for Steelers winning the AFC North and Texans winning the AFC South. I'm with you on those, Ryan, and Bears being scrappier than people think. But this actually, I do think ends up being chalky. I'm going KC, Denver, Chargers, Raiders. Exact order finish at plus 750.
What are you locking up?
Locking up.
Win total. It's a tough one, but I know where I'm locking up. You want me to go first?
Yeah, go.
Chiefs.
Yeah, that was going to be mine.
Right,
over 10.5 Chiefs. I mean, if you want to be soft, make playoffs is the lock, but call it over 10.5.
No.
Get that over
we have to lock a win total, Sean. Stop trying to cheat.
That's what I said.
That's what we do.
I said if you
lock up win totals.
You can't yell at me for doing something when I said I'm not going to do this.
Stop acting like we're not going to lock up a win total.
The win total lock is the Chiefs on the over. Andy Reid, Patrick Mahomes, and they really did well with the draft. I think that's what's going to surprise people.
Well, also the latest. I didn't even mention this. My bad to the YouTube chat, but I totally failed to mention the giant chip on the shoulder of Derek Carr. That Dana White created by pointing out that the Raiders tried to get Tom Brady.
Well, and if you go back, there was that moment where Brady was in that like barbershop interview where he goes, "You want that motherfucker over me?" And it was very obvious now that he's referring to Derek Carr.
This locker room loves that man. They did not like those words from Tom Brady, AKA fucking German 2022 super soldier.
Yeah, I'm not buying it, but we'll see. That's why they play the games. Hey, have you guys gotten into the free roll football contest yet? College football giving away $1,500, NFL giving away $5,000. sportsgamblingpodcast.com/discord. Also sign up link to our free NFL Survivor contest with Run Your Pool. So many free contests. Hey, we're giving you free picks. We're fucking busting our asses over here. Toss us a nice rating and review over on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, wherever you can leave a review. Screenshot it, send it into Merch Monday via there's a form if you click contest in the app. And you got a chance to win a $50 gift card to the SGPN store. There's some high quality shit in that thing. Thank you, everyone, for tuning in.
Thank you for participating in the Sports Gambling Podcast.
Product, high quality product.
There you go. For the Sports Gambling Podcast, I'm Sean, stacking the money green. He's Ryan.
Herbert, sexy, Russ, clean.
Kramer, let it ride.